Well, good morning, good afternoon, boys and girls. Haven't put up a video for quite a while, but and I will now explain why. Uh, I know nobody's watching, but if anybody is watching, they might notice the neck brace, which is not standard of care or the gold standard for Parkinson's. So if I can go back to 2 years ago, I had a little bit of problems with stiffness, aches, shoulder pain, etc., etc. I thought, well, I might have rheumatoid arthritis like my dad had at his age. I was like 69 at the time. So got a referral to a rheumatologist. He said, you have got PMR, Polymyalgia Rheumatica. So I sort of accepted that, and I noticed that I was also getting weak, losing some strength, so I got some physiotherapy. Picked up quite well after a while, and I thought, well, I'm doing pretty well now. My inflammation markers were very low anyway. Pain wasn't much. Never took the standard of care, which was prednisone, a steroid. So got okay, started recovering. Then get back to the end of last year, about November-ish. Had lots of issues with balance, unsteadiness. Felt like I was like drunk all the time, but without the fun stuff. So what I did is I went along and got some tests with my ENT folk, for balance, etc. They prescribed some physiotherapy, which seemed to help a little bit. In the meantime, I was getting peripheral neuropathy, numbness, which was starting at the fingers, worked all the way up to my trunk, whatever. So I wasn't doing too well. Anyway, soldiered on with that and thought, well, maybe now is the time to see a neurologist. So, November, see a neurologist locally, and he said, you, my son, have got Parkinson's disease. So I thought, yeah, I seem to tick most of the boxes. Stiffness, balance, lack of coordination, dragging feet, all that kind of stuff. So I sort of accepted that and resigned myself to being a Parkie for a while. Well, in perpetuity, because there's no real treatment for it except for the symptoms of Parkinson's. So I thought, well, what can you do? Start a YouTube channel and do what you should do, which is exercise, keep busy, pick up your old hobbies, try not to wither away like some people do when they get these degenerative diseases. So carried on, went on a vacation over the Christmas and New Year's period. Enjoyed that somewhat. Nice trip to South Africa, included a cruise, a mini safari. Had a few problems with balance and coordination, but I was getting by. Come back to Florida, and things were getting worse. The numbness was really getting to me. So I went back to my neurologist and I said, I'm not quite happy with what's going on. Parkinson's is supposed to be kind of progressive, slow burn. This was coming on very fast. And I was losing lots of sensation, lots of feeling in my hands, couldn't button shirts, couldn't operate a mouse for a computer. So what I ended up doing is, back to this guy. And he says, oh yeah, you should take vitamin B12 like I do for my neuropathy, because he's a similar age. He's about 70 like me, I think. So wasn't quite happy with that. So at the behest of my wife and also at my own behest, we went to see a Parkinson's specialist in Miami, University of Miami Medical System, which has a good rep for pretty much everything. And he said, yeah, Parkinson's, you tick most of the boxes, but there's a few things that aren't quite right. Your blink rate's okay, your expression is pretty okay. So, I haven't got that blank look that a lot of people get with these degenerative diseases. So I thought, yeah, well, so kind of sort of a confirmation, but there were some things he didn't like. He thought I was walking well, and blink rate was good. like normal, not sort of off, which is what you get with Parkinson's. But he's a smart fella, this Parkinson's specialist, and he ordered a full spine MRI. So the result of that being that he found some serious stenosis in my cervical region, which is there. And that would explain my spinal cord was compressed to 2 millimeters, which for people in America who don't understand the metric system, that is friggin' small. That is. And so if your spinal cord is compressed that much, you run some serious risks of, paralysis and worse, because there's a limit to how much a spinal cord can be compressed without serious bad shit happening. So I basically got in touch with a neurosurgeon who coincidentally was the same neurosurgeon who did some work on my wife's back about 10 years previous. So he had a good rep as a neurosurgeon. I thought, well, I'll go to this guy. And he looked at me and he said, yeah, you've got some serious compression. I'm going to do some work on you. And so basically I had just a month ago, on the 20th of May this year, I had spinal fusion from C2 to C7, laminectomy, which is a posh word for saying cut out some of the bone, so there's some space for your spinal cord, and he freed my cord, and so it popped out. As he described it, he said, it's like, imagine Pillsbury dough, where you open that little carton and everything pops out. That's your spinal cord. So needless to say, I didn't really, things weren't, so I didn't expect like miracles from surgery, because obviously having your cord compressed for that long means you're going to have some damage there, and the nerves take a long while to heal. So my situation at the moment is I'm wearing a neck brace. I'm about just over 1 month out from surgery. I cut down on my fun drugs like the opioids, Percocet, which is great fun for helps getting rid of the old pain, but it doesn't actually make you want to do stuff. So now I'm off the serious pain meds. I'm not feeling much pain. Obviously, a bit of discomfort from wearing a neck brace, which I've probably got to wear until about August when I have my follow-up with him. So, with my neurosurgeon. So that's where I am at the moment. So, bad news, good news. I guess it's great news that I don't seem to have Parkinson's. Most of the people I've spoken to, nursing staff, doctors I came in contact with in hospital and outside of hospital say, no, you do not look like a Parkinson's guy. You are just somebody who's got your stenosis. And the other interesting thing is that my neurosurgeon wrote a paper 10 years previous and seems to be quite up on something called OPLL. I will not spell it out in full because it's if you Google it, you'll find out what it is. It is a disease probably genetically caused, which is more prevalent in Asiatics, Chinese. It's a big problem in Japan. And he actually wrote a paper about OPLL in Caucasians. And as smart viewers will notice that I'm kind of look a bit Caucasian in a certain light, as in every light. So there I am. Here I am. So what to do? I guess it's good news. I'm planning to recover at some point. I still feel the same as I did when I went into surgery, only a little bit more depleted because obviously surgery takes it out of you. But I guess the good news is that my neurosurgeon said, you can either get worse, you can either stay the same, or you can get better, like 3 options. At the moment, I'm in the staying the same, so I'm pleased, given the extent of the surgery, that I woke up and I still had sensations in my hands and my feet, and I was able to walk out of the hospital without a walking frame. I don't use a stick or a walking frame now. I can walk now. Before I went into hospital, I was able to walk about a mile a day. I'm now working my way up to, from a few hundred yards to a half a mile. So hopefully I'll get back into walking. My neurosurgeon doesn't seem to want to point me in the direction of physiotherapy, but I'm kind of cool with that at the moment. So this is where I am at the moment, and just thought it would be nice to actually put up a video, because it seems that it is quite likely that some people who've been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, who haven't actually had MRIs or more detailed diagnostics, might not have it. And I seem to be an example of somebody who was diagnosed with basically two conditions. I believe that the PMI I had was only early onset stenosis, because the symptoms and the shoulder pains and the loss of strength seemed to fit with stenosis. So here I am, and I thought this is I see partly the reason for this video is a cautionary tale. You can't be sure necessarily that what you're diagnosed with is what you've got, and I'm really glad that when I was diagnosed with PMR, I never took the medication. And when I was diagnosed with Parkinson's, I did not take the carbidopa, levodopa that they suggest for the condition to deal with the symptoms. So I guess I'm pretty happy at the moment, because it's not much fun having a collar. I've got to basically keep that on until about August. I have to shower with a collar on, take it off, then put on another collar that's been dried out overnight. And obviously I'm being cautioned about lifting heavy weights. I can make myself a cup of tea, a rudimentary meal, but all the heavy lifting, literally, is being done by my wife, including helping me with buttoning shirts, zippers, all the things that you can't do if you've got like neuropathy. So this is it. So I guess the question is, what do I do with this channel? I think there is a story to be told, and I guess a service to humanity would be to put more stuff about OPLL, to let people know, one, it exists, because it's one of these things that, as my neurosurgeon said, I was appalled when I saw my MRI and the constriction on my spinal cord, and I was surprised that I was actually able to walk even, but I guess a lot of that is attributed to my bloody mindedness and the fact that I've been doing physiotherapy for various diseases that I haven't got for about the last 2 years, and so my leg strength and my core strength was pretty good. So I didn't really need walking aids or whatever. So anyway, if there's anybody watching, somebody sees it, please feel free to make comments. Anybody who's been through this kind of surgery before, I would be pleased to hear. Like most fools, I joined a Facebook group to find out some comments or see some comments from fellow sufferers. Not always a good idea, because there's always the horror stories. And one thing I did make sure I would do is, before I had the surgery, I would do minimal research on the condition, which was confirmed by my neurosurgeon as OPLL, on the grounds that for every good news story, there's usually a couple of bad news stories. And the rep of my neurosurgeon was sufficient, and the fact that he'd done good work on my wife, and the fact that basically my condition is basically just up his street, and it's like a subspecialty of his work. I just felt I could put my neck in his hands, for want of a better word, and let him do what he needs to do. So there was minimal discussion about, well, do you have to fuse all of these vertebrae? Do you have to do this? Do you have to cut away my bone? Oh dear, oh dear. I thought, no, let's sod it. Just, left untreated, this is paralysis and death. So I just said, do what you've got to do. And it seems to have worked out okay. I've got residual pain is not really there. I'm feeling quite comfortable. I'm basically comfortable enough to actually turn on the computer and speak to the world. So if I actually manage to get this set up, and it actually is going to the world, so that's basically it. I'd be very keen to know where I should take this channel, whether I should just go on it from time to time and rant about my progress or non-progress. Because at the moment my progress is not stellar. I feel like I'm still as I was pre-operation, but much weaker, because I've basically had 4 days in hospital, or 4 nights in hospital, and 2+ hours of surgery, which kind of takes it out of you. And I'm only like one month from the surgery, so I don't really, and I couldn't really expect to wake up after surgery and say, oh, all my sensations are back, blah 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 blah, because that ain't going to happen. And there's always a possibility that it's never going to get back to what it was when my spinal cord swam free in my spine. But I have hope, and I'm a great believer that if you look after yourself, eat well, exercise, do things, has a positive attitude, that nerves can regenerate. One of my recollections from back in the day, some of the oldsters remember the Falklands War in the UK, and I remember watching a case study of a gentleman who was actually basically shot in the head with a high velocity rifle bullet. He was actually ignored for a while because they thought, this guy's dead, and he basically was a vegetable for many months. But a year or two down the line, he was able to talk and walk and have a rational, sensible conversation. And he basically admitted, I'm not going to be the same as I was. But the power of his brain and his nervous system to regenerate, actually, I feel is like an example that it doesn't matter what happens to you. If you can, there's always, where there's life, there's hope. And while I'm getting sensation, if I got numbness going down to my extremities and strange sensations, maybe the strength and manual dexterity can flow down that route as well. So that's it for now. And if anybody sees this, I'd appreciate any comments. If nobody's watching it, I guess I don't really care. This is really more for me to chart my improvement. I'm saying this is hopefully I will be able to put some more videos up, and if anybody's interested, I can let them know how I'm doing. So at the moment, I'm just getting by, but pretty much the pain is gone. I've stopped the Percocet, which means now I'm actually going to start thinking a bit clearer and start doing stuff, which is always useful, because while the brain is moving, hopefully the rest of me will move at the same time. So thanks for watching. If anybody's watching, if nobody's watching, well, your loss. And this is it. End of stream.